I know it's lame. Don't have to go far though. Doesn't really matter if it drags on the ground. Just let me know if it falls. A lot of people might not have the opportunity to get close up and personal with one of these things. There's a lot of people that just don't know much about them. I might be one of them people. So I'll show you a few things that I do know. One thing right off the bat is this control lever pattern. It has two different things you can select: excavator or you can select backhoe. What I learned this as was cat controls or John Deere controls. And a lot of the older guys prefer the John Deere controls. To me, they're all backwards. By changing this switch over, a lot of your controls will become backwards. Like, you will pull a lever in to make the bucket go out. The way I have it is, you want the bucket to come towards you, you pull the lever towards you. There's a lot of old guys though that learnt on John Deere. Once you learn something, it's kind of hard to forget. I had a boss that he used to always he ran the machines as well, but he would always change it over to John Deere. So I'd get on the machine and everything would be ass backwards. It seems that it's mostly older people that prefer John Deere and younger people that prefer the excavator controls or the cat controls, which I guess I'm not really a younger person, but I didn't start running these machines until about 30 years ago. So in that respect, I'm younger. Anyways, I'll show you the controls once it's running. Little ones and big ones, they're all kind of the same. They all have this counterweight here. This is just one big heavy weight. And that's just so that when you have a lot of weight in the front, you're not going to flip it over. And this heavy weight, when the machine turns sideways and spins sideways, well, then the heavy weight's off to the side and off to the other side. So it kind of works in every direction. However, don't just count on having this heavy weight. You'll see a lot of times if I'm going down a steep hill and I'm carrying something heavy, well, then I back down the hill. And another thing about these, even though they have tracks, they don't have a lot of traction. Well, especially in like mud or wet grass, they tend to just slide. I'll show you an example of that. Now, I know the camera doesn't really show grades very good, but this isn't really that steep, but it is a hill. And you can see it's all mucky where the tracks are, because every time I go down this hill, it just slides down. There's no way to stop it. It slides until it wants to stop. However, when I come up the hill, it seems to have plenty of traction, comes up no problem. But you just have to be aware that if you're going to be going down a hill, that chances are you're going to slide down that hill. And that's not really an issue, not a big deal, except if you happen to slide sideways, because then your tracks will get a grip and it'll become like a plow, and you can flip over quite easily that way. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through every button, lever, switch, knob, and you two can be an expert. I'm not sure if I've done this before in a video or not, but okay, the foot levers. Now this one here on the far left, this controls the thumb, in and out. When I say thumb, I mean thumb, the thumb. These two in the center, once again, are rocker switches, and they control the tracks. Left track, right track, and also can be controlled from up here, which I prefer. This is a high and low speed. You just hold your foot on it for high, which gives you about 0.1 of a mile an hour faster. It doesn't make much of a difference whatsoever. This far rocker switch is for the boom only. When I say the boom, that is the boom. Red handle on the left. You put it down and it locks your controls into position. Makes it easier to get up in the seat when it's up, but also it stops everything from functioning, so you don't accidentally hit this or hit this or hit this. None of those things will function until this is locked in the lockdown position. Fuel gauge, temperature, and hours. Very basic. They got some dummy lights for other things there. What else do you have here? You have your light on your boom. Right there. See it going on and off? Probably not. On the right side, you have this green button here. That's for the irritating beeper. Every time you go forward or reverse, you'll get a beeper coming on. You can press that button to cancel the beeper. Throttle. This is for the blade. Up and down for the blade. You won't have this on a lot of big machines, don't have a blade, so they won't have that. To raise the boom, pull this towards you. The boom comes towards you. See, I push this towards me, and the bucket will come towards me. Now we go over to this foot control, push it, and the thumb goes up. Now this one here, pull it towards me, bucket comes towards me. Push this, the whole house goes into the left, to the right. Now when I say house, that's the thing I'm sitting in. The tracks will stay stationary, but the house will move. Next one, right here. Now, if you remember what I said before, that is for the boom and the boom only. The house is going to stay stationary, but the boom is going to move now. Push it to the right. The whole boom goes to the right. Now you might wonder, well, why does it do that? Why do you need it to do that? Well, one instance that makes that handy is if I'm digging close to a house or something, and say digging a trench, I would shift the whole house over this way, then I would shift the boom over that way, and I can dig a trench right tight up against a house or a building. Then we have these, which I've mentioned is just your left track and right track. You want to go straight, you push them both ahead. You want to go backwards, you push them both back. You want to turn right, you push one. You want to turn left, you push the other one. And that's fairly straightforward and simple. Usually you run it you know, you're gonna run it close to full speed, it doesn't matter. If you're running it at full speed, then you have full power with your hydraulics. When storing it, I always store it with the bucket down and down to the ground and upside down. Same with the blade, just right on the ground. Now a couple more things I should ought to mention. Anybody that's seen my videos knows that safety is somewhat important when getting into the machine. Hold on to stuff. I think that's what they mean. They mean you should always be holding on to a couple of different things for safety reasons. Yeah. I guess not as important with a little machine like this. I can see a big machine where it might hurt when you fall. Now for the important thing about safety with these. A lot of people tend to get squished like pancakes with these things. Not usually the operator, it's usually somebody else. They will get squished between the machine and a building or a tree or whatever, a car or whatever it may be, when the machine turns unexpectedly. If anybody's working with you around one of these machines, before they come anywhere near the machine, they should get your attention. And yelling doesn't work. I mean, it might work sometimes, but the way to get a machine operator's attention is you throw a rock at the bucket and he will acknowledge that he sees you. Yo, Johnny. Take a rock. Now, a lot of these machines are, I think they call them zero clearance, whereas if this does turn, chances are it won't squish you. But there's a lot of machines that if this does turn, you'd be flat like a pancake if you're nearby. I mean, and also there's so many things that could go wrong if you're not paying attention. So always throw a rock. If you're still watching, that's amazing. I guess I'll take a quick look at the traffic and weather, and we'll see you in a week or so.